Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Silence and the Fury, where I was a little curious how it is exactly that Taurox the Brass Bull manages to hide his own massive body and also his huge army and also his Gorgon and everything when we're in encampment mode. And I guess you're looking at the answer right here. I just zoomed way in on the army and this is us. We managed to get the whole thing inside of this one tree. I guess it must be like the tree in that Berenstain Bears book. Anyway, we find ourselves, strategically, at a bit of a crossroads here. We have completed our first really obvious goal, and now we have to figure out how we want to proceed. I think that we have a lot of needs at the moment. Of course, we need to set up another herdstone so that we can keep getting our Marks of Ruination going, because we do have to hit 500 Ruination in order to win the game. But we also just need a ton of favor, right? We have a lot of things that we are ready to buy and that we simply cannot afford to buy, like upgrades to our various buildings. I don't even know what all of our building options do here. So the upgrade to the wizard building gives us the Shatterstone ability during siege battles. I don't know what that does, but I think we can make a reasonable guess. This is even more dread per turn. When attacking, applies temporary penalties to the enemy army's leadership and melee defense. That seems cool. Increased chance of magic items and some loot and another army ability. It is really unfortunate that there's no way to like mouse over that. Because obviously if I take my mouse off of this thing, the tooltip disappears. So we don't actually get to know what any of these army abilities do. We just have to guess from the name. Do you love entropy? I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. And then, of course, we have the other military structures. So we could start building toward giants and stuff. We do need the Minotaurs. Maybe I should just build the Minotaur building instead of trying to save up for the rest of the Centaurs. But, like, this is my point. We just need a ton of favor, right? We have a lot of everything else, and we need a whole lot of favor. And we're going to hit 5 population surplus pretty quickly here, actually. So, here's what I'm thinking. Rather than refocusing on Ruination right away, let's deal with the other enemies that we need to deal with, or deal with the people that we're already currently at war with, and just take the slow raise option a couple of times to make the amount of money we need to actually buy the things we are entitled to. So we still have orcs up north. We could head up there and fight them. Okay, it's cool that the big Dark Elf faction here seems to like us because they do not much care for the smaller Dark Elf faction that we've been fighting, so we don't have to worry about them trying to annihilate us or anything. And then we can circle back down here, and because these Dark Elf settlements are grouped up a little bit better, we can maybe like do a herdstone in this area. And they might resettle. You know what? Honestly, yeah, I think that seems pretty okay to me. Let's try that. That said, we do know that a Dark Elf army rode up here recently, and if we could encounter that army from Clark Herond and put them down, obviously that'll help us keep our momentum going as we're headed out.
Knows no limits.
I don't know where they went. Maybe they fought Malekith? Are you properly at war with them? You are. Okay, so that is a possibility. It may well be that Malekith just devoured that army we saw go north. All right, well then let's turn around and get to work on these orcs. I'm a little concerned about losing our Oh right, raiding stance actually makes us move faster. All right, maximum raiding speed. I'm a little worried about losing our momentum. That's my only real concern. Hello, Gorbird's Face Smasher. So this big red glowy effect around him means that he's currently suffering attrition. Probably. Ah, yes, because of our high chaos corruption. I guess this is a moment here where we could discuss corruption. So if we click on this region, you can see each region on the map has a corruption value. There are 4 different flavors of corruption: untainted, chaos, vampiric, and skaven. And basically, the system's a little bit complicated, but what you really need to know is each faction has a preferred type of corruption, and their armies and cities do not do well if they are in regions with a different type of corruption than their preferred type. So, orcs and goblins prefer untainted. and they take damage constantly when they're in chaos areas or vampiric areas or Skaven areas. So we've been doing a lot of things that are constantly spreading chaos corruption around. You can see we are trending toward this region being 90% chaos corrupted. And so their armies are going to have a real tough time. And remember, anytime that an army is suffering attrition damage of any kind, it is not getting its normal healing or replenishment as well. So this is a grim situation for them. Unfortunately, we cannot quite reach them to attack them this turn. They're going to turn around and run away, I expect. Either that, or yeah, I suppose it's possible that maybe they have another army behind them. Boy, I wonder if there's going to be any Clark-Herond left by the time we're done with these orcs. Oh, they went into ambush mode. They successfully stealthed on me. Well, they might just come home and resettle. Or wait, are they allowed to resettle? They might not be allowed to, right? Because of the, yeah, cannot colonize ruins in this region until the herdstone is destroyed. Okay, so once we've completed the ritual.
These brutish nomads are as strong as
Oh, hey,
they are stupid,
ogres.
but do not underestimate them. They are hardy warriors and will cannibalize any foe that dares to cross them.
So the ogre mercenaries are another new thing from this update. With a great crump, a large group of ogres has appeared nearby. Though generally expected to attack and plunder any settlement they come across, it seems that they do not seek a fight, at least not immediately, but are looking for the most lucrative call to battle they can find. Wholly untroubled by morality or questions of good and evil, well, that's that's good news for us. Ogre mercenaries could be a great boost to your battle ranks should you choose to hire them. I assume that they're going to want us to pay them in favor, which is not ideal for me, obviously. So we'll deal with them in a moment here. Do I want to learn the Mantle of Gorok? We have to spend 4 points in this box to get Arcane Conduit. We could just grab Earthing and Magical Reserves instead. I mean, this is a very impressive combat buff. The thing is, I think we're going to want Earthing and Magical Reserves. We'll probably end up just getting all of the spell points eventually. Alright. Here's what I'm thinking. We have a natural 20 dread income, right? From the thing we built in our herd. So I think we're going to not bother with this because I want to chase those goblins down before they have a chance to build that army up into anything more powerful. So am I allowed to initiate battles out of this mode? I am, but we will start the battle tired. But I don't even make it to the settlement otherwise. Yeah, alright. We're just going to push up like this. Because, like, that tiny army of... Ooh, that is not that tiny army of goblins. That's a different army of goblins. Gorbirds is in full retreat. Is Shroktek Mount also staffed entirely by goblins? There are 2 units of orcs. But yes, mostly goblins. Alright. Alright, let us feast. Result, Pyrrhic victory. But only one of our units will be lost. I mean, I know it's a lot of them, but it's still just goblins, y'all. 25 armor, 24 melee attack, 29 defense. I'm just going to take the Pyrrhic victory. That battle, we could fight that manually, and it would probably work out a little bit better, but it would also be boring. So, and in this case, taking the slow raise doesn't even really get us very much favor. So I'll just take I will take the bonus replenishment, thank you. We got ourselves a Pelt of the Shadowgave. Taurox already has decent armor on, but we can throw that on our wizard probably. And +5 leadership for his whole army when fighting greenskins. That is actually immediately relevant. So, wizard, would you like some armor? Yeah, a little bit of missile resistance. That seems worthwhile. We only have the 1 weapon, so I'm not going to pass that to you. Do we have any extra followers laying around? No, not really. Oh, you have Frenzy. That's weird. So Frenzy is an ability that increases your melee attack and your... I'm not going to have him wade into melee combat. I was just making fun of how bad goblins are at fighting, and their stats are pretty similar to his. And he actually has less armor than a goblin does. But I guess he also has frenzy. If it comes right down to it, that's an option. Well, let's move forward a little bit. I want to continue to be aggressive here. But obviously, we got to leave ourselves enough movement to encamp so that we can refill, and also, you know, I just need the extra replenishment. We'll have a chance to see the Centaurs in action. So, that gave us a bunch of dread. Also, hooray, replenish my momentum. We're gonna get that rampage yet. So let's get an army. I want a second army. Who do we want to summon in here? There's Khazrak, the One Eye, who famously lost one of his eyes. I believe what happened is Khazrak's Beastmen horde got into a battle with the forces of Middenland, led by Boris Todbringer, and in the battle, Khazrak and Boris each managed to take out one of the other's eyes, and that's why they both only have one eye, I think. Reduced bestial rage penalties and detection chance when in hidden encampment stance. Okay, so he pays less of a penalty for being sneaky. His Bestigors and Razorgore chariots get Vanguard deployment, and all of his Ungor have poison. Oh, that's interesting. Malagor is more of a spellcaster. Ooh, he's also very fast in the beast paths. Enemy casualty replenishment rate minus 100%. Any enemy army within the same region as him will not replenish at all. That seems pretty cool. Causes fear for harpies is still not going to make harpies good. And then Morgur the Shadowgave. Raiding stance is upgraded to Despoiler stance, which spreads corruption and attrition. He has an aura of vile transmutation, causing constant damage to enemies within 40 meters of himself. Big magic resistance. Good at moving through magic forests. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who sounds... I think this sounds pretty cool. Let's go ahead and gain this lord. So he'll be added to our recruitment pool. And then... yep, we have confederated his faction. And so how do I actually... Do I do it at a settlement? Yes, okay. We are allowed to have 2 armies. Let's have 2 armies. And he can go talk to the ogres. That's my plan. So, Morgur. Let's talk about what Morgur's deal is. He is the Shadowgave, which gives all of the stuff that we just read there. He is a spellcaster, I think. I guess it actually doesn't look like he has spells. Maybe he's just a weird mutant guy. Because he definitely has... It doesn't show his body here, which is a little bit of a shame. He definitely has some weird physical stuff going on. Do we have any spare followers for him? Anybody who's not equipped to anything? No. Okay. He'll have to acquire his own. So for the moment... Oh, sorry. For the moment, hang out inside the herdstone. Just get yourself some basics. I don't know exactly what we're going to do with this force, but... All of our advanced units are in the other army, so Morgur's army is going to be kind of bad for the moment. But we'll live. And... Is it time? I think it's time for the Centaur's Hollow. We'll get the Minotaur thing eventually. And Ogre needs to act for the turn. Do we want... I think I'm going to send Ogre back this way. Here, can you assault them? Let's see if we can just mess with the Dark Elves. Critical failure! Ogre the Rat Eater, attempting to sabotage Alyssa's army, has been wounded in the attempt. So Ogre will be off the battle map for 5 turns, and then he will re-enter, probably at the herdstone, is my guess. He is maybe the least effective hero I have ever had in a game. The joining of the herds has created a growth bonus for all armies. Cool. Of course, now we have even more places to spend favor, so we're going to have to make sure we actually get some. And I'm assuming that the whole idea of momentum only applies to Taurox's army. Because otherwise it would be like trivial to keep up your rampage forever once you have more than one army, right? Oh wow. Middenland was destroyed. That's a pretty sizable, serious faction. Nobles of the Empire worship the ruinous powers, currying favor in hope of a heretical boon. Should we allow these undeserving fools to court the attention of the dark gods, or should we put an end to their ignorant wants? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care that much about the chaos corruption. Yeah, you know what? Plus 10 bestial rage on all armies. The new army needs some rage. I'm very curious what happened to Middenland. That's pretty wild. So I don't think I'm afraid of running into like a supersized goblin army or anything. Hold on, do we still need replenishment? Okay, we could use another turn of replenishment, I guess. We will continue to advance on them thusly. And Morgur, let's go see what's up with these ogres. How does ogres work, I wonder? Cautiously entering the ogre mercenaries' camp, you realize it is not just a single ogre tribe that have arrived, but 3 separate tyrants marching their armies as one. Furthermore, it appears that each tribe has its own combat preference, the likely reason they have grouped together. A reasonable bribe should be enough to convince one of the 3 tyrants to lend you some of his tribe's considerable fat-laden muscle. Alright, a little judgy, but like this is the thing with ogres in this setting. They're all mercenary tribes. They just want to run around and kill stuff and eat whatever they kill. So does it say, it says a reasonable bribe, but it looks like we don't actually have to pay anything for this. Are these units temporary? Alright, so dual weapon ogres, great big armor piercing anti-infantry with a pretty significant charge bonus, and an ogre man-eater, which is even... Okay, this is an anti-large version of the same thing, basically. These are just normal basic ogres, but this one has guns. That seems pretty okay. Or do we want ogres on cavalry? You know, I don't know what ogres ride. What could it possibly be? I kind of want to take the pistol unit, though. We don't really have much in the way of range, like good ranged. And this does seem like a good ranged unit. Let's hire the Death Belchers. So did they just drop in or no? Okay, they... Ah, I see. We add them to the Ogre recruitment pool, and then we would have to pay for them from here. Interesting. Well, they have an upkeep cost. So this is probably not like a huge deal for a lot of factions who have, you know, income and stuff. But I'm not used to having to pay for my troops. I'm gonna not recruit for the moment, at least. Let's move forward into a position from which we can still encamp. And I guess we're just gonna fill our army with kind of crummy garbage. Yeah, it's too expensive for us to upgrade the amount of centigores or anything that we can carry, and I'm just not going to spend dread on that. That does not seem worthwhile at all. So yeah, I guess just pull in some more garbage. We're gonna need some real units in this army at some point. The good news is we sure do get to recruit the garbage quickly. And we may as well pick up speed for all units. I really thought it was not going to be any problem at all for us to get this thing. But boy, our hero cannot win a coin flip to save his life, literally. So we'll have to be a little bit more careful with the new army. The new army does not have like a Gorgon backing it up, and while Morgur the Shadowgave himself is a pretty impressive unit, as all legendary lords are, he just doesn't really have any backup. We can try to pick off dark elf armies when they're like weak in the field and running fast to get away from things, but that's really about the best we can do. All right, Juggernaut charge. Yeah, I got bad news for Gorbird's face smasher over here. A decisive victory. I'll take it. And there we go. That's the kind of thing I was looking for. So the amount of money that we get out of the settlement when we do stuff like that is based on how built up the settlement is. So it helps us a lot to take over places where they've been dug in for a while and they've had time to build infrastructure. Fighting over the same puny recaptures over and over again is not really going to earn us anything. We got a doc who helps with horde growth. And also, yep, just continuing to charge into battle makes you better at charging into battle. We've maxed out Annihilator, which is excellent news. I know so far we haven't really had to worry too much about siege battles, but it will become a problem later. Are my Minotaurs gold rank yet? They totally are. All right, let's take the gold rank skill that helps the Minotaurs. I'm guessing this one. There we go. So, 15% missile resistance, plus 5 melee attack, plus 12% weapon strength for any of these types of units that are gold ranks or above. Beautiful stuff. And then once we've spent 1 point in this box, we can move up and grab this upgraded version of that leadership ability we took and make it give 24 melee attack, which is really quite a lot. And you are going to grab the last point before Arcane Conduit. And I'm feeling overconfident is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I might get us all into some considerable trouble here if I don't manage my expectations. But this has got to be the end of them, right? Yes, they have 1 settlement remaining. Let's burn out the broken chains, and then we'll figure out what we want to do exactly with Taurox. It'll be a lot easier for Morgur to get meaningful stuff done once Taurox is nearby. So, I really wish I had my hero. Do we have the ability to recruit other heroes? No, we're at our building cap for everything. Or sorry, we don't even have the recruit buildings for anything. Do you? No, I totally don't. Well, all right, that's the thing that's got to get resolved. I'm a little reluctant to do too many upgrades here because I do want to... Here, let's do Morgur's turn first. So I think we're probably just going to be pretty careful and conservative with our movement here because we do not know what the field looks like. Just continue to creep forward and let's make some improvements here. First of all, that is doable. Secondly... I mean, we probably do want more dread income, right? Those are really going to add up as we continue to pick up armies. How close are we to that next momentum level? All right, we're right there. We're right on the cusp. Oh, actually, I should have recruited some of those new Centaurs though. Kick out some basic Ungor. I don't know how Clark Heron is managing to get into war with more of its neighbors, but they need to be more careful about that. That's not gonna do anything for them. All right, if I rampage, I can in fact reach the temple this turn. Let's be a little cautious. So we're gonna have to trespass on Dark Elf land a little bit. Ah, they do have a real army here. Well, real in a certain way. So they got goblins. This army is actually led by an orc. Alright, let's go hit an encampment here. I am going to drop... Because, like, what can I recruit? I can pull in a Razor Gore chariot and a unit of Centaurs with throwing axes. Very fast-moving, armor-piercing, axe-throwing Centaurs. Let's just go ahead and replace one of our existing ranged units with that. And then... Here, let's merge and then kick out the low-health one. Alright, y'all do that. And Morgur is just kind of slowly leveling up passively. Always take movement range. So let's advance on that settlement. If there's no army at that settlement, we should... That's a shame. We might still be able to take him. The thing is, an army made entirely of Ungor really is a lot weaker than we're used to. We could just pull in the ogres and have the ogres make up the difference, but 350 favor out per turn is non-trivial. I hate to say let's wait until the real army shows up, but I think that is what we're doing. Or at the very least, we should go in here with a full army of garbage. Yeah, I don't know. This is we're gonna have trouble applying that many spearmen, I guess.
This will fail.
I wish I had a better sense of what was in their force. If only I had a hero over here who could help me scout. So I'm imagining that the Temple of Cain is like their actual base. It will probably be the most valuable settlement they have. But we may find that it is tricky to conquer it while it has a full-sized army inside. The herd is noisome and disgruntled, more so than usual even. They resent having to worship the herdstone for yet another night and instead desire to feast and overindulge. Yeah, I am inclined to just take on a wild night. I don't see much reason to intentionally manage our chaos corruption, or to intentionally increase it. It seems like a very minor concern. So, we got another dark moon. Casualty replenishment up, movement up. Dread cost down for increasing chariots and manticore stuff. I guess I'm going to take Endless Herd. I was really hoping that there would be a combat boost. So we're not drawing from the same pool of bonuses every time. There is some randomness involved here. Yeah, I guess and of those choices, Endless Herd.
My visions predict failure.
So she mustered up to 10. I might try to... Let's try to sneak around her, I guess. I'm looking for like an uncovered settlement somewhere. Although maybe now we can just sit and get the ability to recruit some real units. Being able to recruit razor gore herds is not nothing, but you know what? Let's just get a pit hovel. Then we can recruit proper gore in this army, and that can be part of how we make up the difference.
I refuse.
What is their garrison? Okay, so they got some orc biggins. They got some like real units in this garrison. They have a unit of trolls, some orcs on boarback. What we want for them to do, obviously, is to come out and fight us. We could try just sieging up the city. The thing is, if we do that, they're going to attack me with their combined force. We'll be able to lure them out into a field battle instead of having to fight them on the city walls. And in a field battle, maybe we can just beat them, because they really are mostly garbage units. It would certainly be more difficult than any battle we've fought so far. And we are not close enough to be able to get a savage rampage buff before doing it. Unless I want to declare war on the big dark elf faction, which I don't at the moment. Remember, we do have to burn down Nagarond as one of our long game objectives. This does have to happen, but it's probably not going to happen right now. Oh, this was 350. All right. Well, we'll be able to get some more Centaurs in here soon. That'll be fun. Yeah, basically, I need Crixos to decide to come out. Right now, we're hidden. He's gonna want to resettle this territory. We know that. We saw him do some of that stuff earlier. If I can separate the army and the settlement, we can take either one of them alone. And then the other falls trivially after that. I'm gonna give this a turn. We can't stay put too long because our bestial rage and our momentum will both suffer. Oh, okay, Malekith. just as I was about to finish my upgrades. Well, I'll tell you what. I do think that the Dark Elves are going to be annoyed with us pretty soon, because we're going to end up trespassing in their territory a lot. But I really don't feel ready to just declare war on them. Okay, Ogre has returned, and he came back with an extra experience level. Let's use that to get Specialist and make him even better at actions. Hopefully better enough to complete them. And I guess, yeah, come down. Do I want you to start working on the Dark Elves? Like, maybe the plan needs to be that we fight the Dark Elves. They're already kind of souring on us. Actually, they're already souring on us a lot because I am in their territory right now. Do we have a sense of what's in Malekith's army? No. All right, you know what? You come over here. We're maybe going to have to fight some Dark Elves. All right, and now that that's done, we can bring on some Gore herds, which will help a little bit. Let's just go ahead and dismiss. No, damn it. Yes, that is how bad my clicking accuracy is. Let's dismiss 4 of these. Pull in some units that have some slightly better stats. So like an Ungor Spearman herd has 23 melee attack, dealing 22 weapon damage with only 22 defense. A standard unit of Gore is 36 attack on 36 weapon strength. Still very poor defense, but they also have a little bit more leadership. Now granted, they're not as good against large units because they're not wielding spears, but that's not my primary concern. My primary concern is things that are elf-sized, and large in this game's parlance means like a horse or more. All right, you know what? I'm gonna siege up. Yeah, I don't think we do beat them in a straight fight on the walls. If we lure them out to us, maybe. They have a fair number of real actual infantry units, like heavy units. We probably don't need battering rams. I'm going to just work to build some siege towers here. Really, what we're trying to do is starve them out. So if we sit here around the walls for 3 turns, their supplies will run out and their garrison will start summoning attrition. This number is down from a base of 6 because of that trait that we leveled up. In 6 turns, the entire garrison would just 6 turns after that, the entire garrison would just starve to death. At some point, they will come out and fight us in the field, where they still get the advantage of their numbers, but they no longer get the advantage of their buildings. And I guess we need to make that happen as soon as possible. Okay, so Nagarond is getting involved in more wars, but unfortunately they're all wars with like tiny neighboring factions that are not a threat to them. I need them to get distracted by something larger so that we could, raid the backfield, and I do not want to be their only real target. Alright, looks like Crixos is content to just stay inside the walls for the moment. That's fine. We'll starve him. Morgur is probably not in a position to fight Malekith, but he is in position to watch while this happens. Do I want to assault your units? I don't have enough favor. I need money to do anything other than run around and scout. But we do get to see a little bit, so he's got a lot of dark shards with shields. He's got some Reaper bolt throwers. These are like big ballistas. Probably not terribly effective against Morgur's army, actually. So the Dread builds. We are not really in a position where we want to do too much of this at the moment. I wonder if we could upgrade the number of Gore we're allowed to have and just replace more of Morgur's army with like mid-level melee units. What else could we buy with our Dread? We could get better herdstones. There's an army capacity upgrade. New Horde armies are raised with Horde encampment building at level 2 and a den already constructed. Okay. I kind of maybe this is the kind of stuff we should take. We should start upgrading the herdstones because we're gonna want to put down a new herdstone pretty soon. As soon as we find a good area. That would be nice if it came with a more impressive immediate garrison and stuff. Let's go ahead and buy that, and then we'll maybe focus Dread on buying up that line a little bit. And we can upgrade our existing herdstone for free. That's nice. And that'll let us upgrade this thing, which probably doesn't actually matter. But yeah, at the very least, our enemies will have a hard time burning it down. Alright, so our momentum has been blunted. I kind of figured that we were going to lose our momentum, but I thought it would take until after we were done fighting the orcs, so we would lose our momentum while walking back over to the front. So one thing we can try to do here is push south really hard. Oh hey, the Heralds of Ariel want to make a thing of the herdstone. Alright, we better pull Morgr back for that then. Now remember that herdstone does have quite a large garrison on its own. But yeah, I was going to say we can push south and fight the Heralds of Ariel and stay like squished against the west side of the map. Or we can just go out through these Dark Elves, right? This has forced my hand a small amount. Do I have a sense of what your movement range will be? You're pretty constrained by the terrain over here. So Storag Core currently has... Oh, interesting. I'm not... Oh, okay, it's not free. It costs money. So we have a 16-unit garrison to defend against whatever it is they're bringing in here. And we are not going to get there in time to play proper defense. Well, alright. Get as close as you can. And I'm going to have Ak get eyes on whatever's going on with the rest of their territory here. So my assumption here is that they want to expand into like the temple and stuff, and they know they have to burn down the herdstone before that can happen. Alright, they're about to start starving. Right now, actually, we could just hit the button and take the victory. On account of we built two siege towers so we can go over the walls a little bit more easily. I am sort of inclined to just take this because I think we're going to need Morgr back down south, like, soon. Yeah, I'm just going to take this. We'll play out plenty of siege battles over the course of the campaign, don't worry. I do not think that one would be particularly exciting, and let's do the loot and raise. I do think that we are in a position here to need the favor. I have 20 movement range left. Alright, so let's get Apocalyptic Vision. Great big melee attack buff. Sadly, 18-second duration, but 90-second cooldown, so it's not going to be up all that often. Got our Arcane Conduit, so we will now be constantly producing more Winds of Magic. And I guess, yeah, the fastest way back is going to be this way, but also... I can hardly move at all if I want to get back into this mode. Alright, so I think I'm gonna not take Ungor Herd. This army doesn't need the help. Let's just take bad units to refill so that we can redistribute some of the Gore Herd back to Morgr. And that did give us enough favor to do some more big upgrades. This would cost us everything, though. Would I rather save the money to upgrade Morgr's stuff? Probably. He's already at 5 population surplus. Yeah, this army needs the help more than the other one does. We do have the ability to build this upgrade, which does... It does upgrade the types of Centaurs that are in the garrison. My concern is that I will spend 2,000 favor on this, and then we'll just lose the herdstone before it even finishes. So let's not bother. Let's see what the Sisters of Twilight do here. because Morgr is in position to attack them on the next turn. If they take the herdstone, if we can just make the fight at the herdstone cost them enough, and they are going for it. All right, let's do this manually and harm them as much as possible. I do think they are probably going to win. I think that is a reasonable assessment of the situation. So we have our Centaurs here. We have a few units of Ungor Raiders, some basic just axe and shield infantry, and then a couple units of giant Razorgore boars. We want to keep the boars away from the spear infantry, but if we can get into their glade guard with them, they should be able to do quite a lot of damage. And all we have to do here is make it hurt. Then hopefully Morgr can sweep in and clean up the remains of their army. Obviously it sucks to lose a herdstone, but we sweep in, we eat the remains of their army, and then we just, from there, push south before they can regenerate, before they can build another thing up. Because I think they probably only have, at most, one other army, and I bet it's not full size. And that's just based on the balance of power bar that it was showing between our two factions. So their lord is a pair of high elves on the back of a giant eagle for the moment. When they level up further, it'll be a dragon instead. This is a problem. We don't really have a lot of good ways of dealing with a flying unit. And then they just have a ton of archers, like a ton of archers. They also have this very powerful caster who is a butterfly tree lady. You know, elf stuff. Listen, I'm not going to pretend to understand it. Now, they've set up in this formation with the intention of, like, pushing in on us and taking advantage of their superior range. We can try to take advantage of our superior ability to start way up on top of them and just rush in real fast. But I wonder if we'd be better off using... Boy, there's very limited cover around here. I was going to say using the cover that is available to us. I mean, we can do this thing again where we make use of our natural stealthiness, try to lure them forward. The Centaurs can start, like, way over here, potentially, because they are very fast. Then who does that leave behind? Oh, right, the normal gore herd. Like, if we start over here in the sort of the ruined trees area, taking advantage of our natural stealth and everything, let them move forward toward the boars or toward the Centaurs. Oh, the Centaurs are remaining hidden as well. A lot of the time, large units do not hide well, but we do still have that natural beastman sneakiness. I want to let them start moving before we make any real decisions here. Let's use the Razorgore to lure them away. Oh god, they got magic. They got magic missiles. Okay, that could have gone a lot worse. Now, you'll notice there's a timer in the top middle of the screen there. Because they are the attacker, they must conclusively win the battle within that timer. If they were to just play defensive with their archers, and we waited on the other side of the battlefield for 60 minutes, they would lose. They do have to come forward. I was kind of hoping to separate them a little bit more. I don't really want the swordsman running on top of the archers, you know? So I'm going to try to get them to curve around the trees here so that we can, like, jump out. While we're doing this, let's go ahead and reorganize these units a little bit better for the thing that is going to happen. I wonder if I run the Centaurs out... Actually, maybe we should just run the Centaurs out into the open now and see what they do. Because the centaurs are not going to be able to approach stealthily no matter what. But if we basically just show them two fast-moving cavalry units on two different sides of their army, I'm hoping that they'll decide to divide their forces a little. You know, elvish arrogance. It looks like it's kind of working. Alright, get over here where the trees are between you and the archers. And then you can take a break from running. Alright, I think they only have a limited number of those big green magic arrows. They do seem to be spreading out a bit more. Alright, so they're starting... I don't know how... Okay, I guess I'm technically just barely in the edge of their range. They're starting to volley a little. Their spear units are not that close. I wonder if we just charge them. Because they'll move some spears out to this side. And then we... Oh, also, they've brought forward their swords over here instead of spear units. Yeah, maybe we just have the cavalry units charge in on the sides, so they move their infantry out, and then we go right down the middle with the rest of our basic dudes. Let's do it. Let's start having at them. I am gonna have these units try to get out of that cone first. Ah, it's not really working. Okay, get him. So the Razor Gore will charge through the trees. All right, good enough for me. So let's have... Do we want all of our archers to immediately focus in on their... Man, our archers are so bad. I'm debating like trying to shoot down that wizard. I'm just going to shoot at their lord. Their lord is a large flying unit and is pretty easy to hit. And you lot all just like get the hell out here. Maximum charging. Actually, you know what? The close gore units should make for these archers that have stepped out to the side. In fact, a lot of our units should probably make for this edge. You can see the centaurs immediately breaking those archers down on contact. And then yeah, you guys will aim more for the spears. Now the Razor Gores, I forgot about this. Razor Gore units rampage. While they are rampaging, they cannot withdraw. So wait, do you naturally rampage, or is that a thing the elves did to you? Nope, you naturally rampage. Okay. Ignoring orders given. So that's not ideal. They're doing some damage already, but they took some arrow fire coming through the trees, and yeah. I'm going to pull the non-rampaged unit back, because this is clearly not working. Nope, never mind. They also rampaged. Let's grab our centaurs and draw them back, because the AI is starting to reorganize the spears. If we can draw their spear units back this way as our melee units come in to attack the archers, I think that's going to be a pretty big win for us. So, okay, I'm going to change things up a little bit. You lot go for there. You go for any exposed archer. Okay, you're doing what you do. Quickly disengage before the spears get on you. Alright, we did break that one archer unit pretty solidly. Remember, as our units approach, anything that has a shield is just negating some portion of the arrow fire. Can you kind of flank around the side here?
Khazrak.
We have very... Oh, hey, the Razor Gores are a little more under control. Let's have this unit of Razor Gore chariots just charge up and... How much do I want to, like... We have to leave some archers in contact with the enemy melee in order to keep them from just chasing us as we back up. But some of these archers can back up and regain shooting stance. So I think you three try to back out. It seems like you're the one that's in closest combat. Your melee mode. Just hold those war dancers in place. I am a little surprised at how badly things are. Like, I knew we were going to lose, but I'm a little surprised at how badly we are getting routed here. And just in terms of like the actual math of the battle, the amount of damage that our units are taking from their units and how quickly. Quickly Razor Gore them. Alright, so the Razor Gores have locked the hero in place. Start shooting. They're lining up. There we go. There we go. It's coming in eventually. Do not allow a spear charge in the flank. Catch them. Yep, our melee have totally given up. I was really thinking that the Centaurs charging the archers was going to be a little bit more effective than it has been. We really only managed to break like one unit of archers. All right, so you can see many of our low morale units have broken and run and then have rallied. We've actually done considerable damage to this unit. Where's their hero? Or their lord. Where'd their lord get off to? Oh! We have done an amount of damage to this lord that is embarrassing for the High Elves. That's good news, at least. So the boars, now that they're feeling like themselves again, can get back in here. It would be ideal if you could fall back behind the incoming melee. We can continue to harass archers over here, but I do think it's not going to end up being much more than harassment. Trying to keep the spears out of optimal engagement, at least. Kind of seems like this unit of archers is just going to win the fight it's in, which is embarrassing. Their hero healed up significantly, right? I mean, I'm not surprised to see them turn around and get back, or their lord rather. I'm not surprised to see them turn around and get back in the fight, but it seems like they recovered a ton of health. Well, that did not go nearly as well as I was hoping. Only 300 of them dead. This is what happens when you don't have big, powerful units to form sort of like the spine of the army. And hopefully it puts into pretty sharp relief exactly why we have been doing so well in our other battles. A lot of it does come down to Taurox and the Gorgon and the Minotaurs. But that's all right. It wouldn't be a story about beastmen if it didn't involve elves showing up and ruining everything every once in a while. So we'll just gather up down here and we will show them who is the boss. We will show them what they have wrought. And in a sense, this is kind of helpful to us because this does give me direction. Like I said, I was a little floundering as to what the next thing to do should be. Now we know. Now we know exactly what the next thing we need to do is. That said, this battle went so poorly that I do think Morgur probably does not get involved. I think Morger probably goes and hides until Taurox has shown up, and then we work together. Yeah, the Sisters of Twilight as a character, as a single melee unit, or a battle unit, are extremely powerful. So do we want Horde growth? No, I want favor. I love favor. Okay. And we did manage to close off one front of combat, at least. So let's use our beast paths here to cheat the terrain. You probably need to move in a hidden sort of fashion here. I think I'm going to have you loop around. So, they are suffering some attrition damage due to being in a high chaos area. We did legitimately cost them at least one actual unit of archers, so that's something. But yeah, your army is just not in position to do very much about this. Even if we recruited the ogres, yeah, we would not be in position to do anything about this. Taurox is near, though. Also, there's another tribe. Okay, they kind of like us. We're cool, right? Like, all right. I want to make sure that they're not going to turn on me in the middle of combat. Opportunism amongst beastmen can be a problem sometimes. So I guess Morger just... I don't really want you to go anywhere. I just want you to become invisible. We are going to kick out a couple units of these Ungor and replace them with the ones that have shields and axes. We are definitely not... Like, spears are definitely not the right type of weapon against the foes that we now face. Go ahead and level this. And... the Razor Gore herd is not... It's on a different... Okay, yeah. The Razor Gore herd is on a different upgrade tab than some of the other stuff we were looking at. So we're not really going to build extra capacity for it, but... this is a relatively cheap building we can build to get access to a unit type that is a little bit better than what we're currently running. Now, his army has low bestial rage. With prolonged inactivity, the Horde will struggle to attract followers, and if rage drops below 20, growth becomes bad. Okay. Well, there's not much I can do about it right now. We'll get there. We'll fix it. This is definitely looking a little rough, though. I do think it was important for us to clear out the orcs entirely, just so that we knew we weren't going to get attacked from behind by a big army at some point when we were least expecting it. But it is definitely costing us something in terms of Taurox's position. Also, now that they've destroyed the herdstone, the enemies are starting to resettle the area immediately, which is very annoying. Well, I think it's going to be the Heralds of Ariel, and then it's probably going to have to be the Dark Elves, the big Dark Elves, immediately after that. So this is going to become challenging. Also, somebody just claimed the Sword of Cain. So the Sword of Cain is an extremely powerful magical weapon that I do not want to have to go up against. Let's hope that it stays well over there. I like this herd just running around and doing economic damage to the High Elves. That is very good news for us. We probably want to continue to approach in a kind of a stealthy way, because this army is not in very good shape right now. And I could definitely use the extra replenishment. And then you... how many Razor Gore can I pull? I can pull 2 Razor Gore herds. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm looking at this army and thinking, like, in what way does this army ever kill anything? This is really a backup force. We need Taurox to lead us into any real fight. Ah, we did unlock Chaos Warhounds with poison. I think that I'm just gonna replace the existing chaos. These units are just not very good. The ones with poison, at least, they distribute that powerful debuff. Do I want a unit of harpies to go with it? Probably not. I think harpies are quite awful. Yeah, probably not. Oh, they settled Storag Core. What am I doing? I didn't even realize. Now that they've settled the region, could I afford to hire any of the? No, the cheapest ogre is 550. Because now they're gonna have this. They're gonna have this problem with their army being all of their units being at half strength. I'm still like, to give you an idea of how bad I think Morgar's units are. I'm still thinking that maybe we don't win that fight, but it'll take them more than one turn to replenish. Let's give them this turn, and then we will approach with the better army plus the damage from the hero's ability, assuming that he can actually land an ability. Plus, Taurox might be able to get in reinforcement range. If we put Taurox into Juggernaut Rampage mode. And then we may end up just re-establishing a herdstone right at Storag Core and burning down the same territory over again. Oh, interesting. So we've been given the opportunity to ambush them. Their units are still in terrible shape, but we don't have our new recruits yet. So this army is not at full strength. They have a huge replenishment rate bonus from their hero. I mean, honestly, I still kind of don't think we can take them. 35 melee attack, 55 melee defense. These war dancers with the spears, we will never be able to hit them. A good sort of like rule of thumb. The attack calculations are obviously kind of complicated, but a good sort of rule of thumb is that if a unit has X melee attack, it's pretty good at hitting units that have X melee defense. If the numbers are about the same, your chance of hitting them is pretty good. Well, it's okay. You would prefer to be higher. So if our attack is 20 points lower than the enemy defense, we have to expect that we're basically never going to deal damage. And obviously we can maybe get a charge bonus going, but not really. We have archers. They have 6 units of real archers plus an archer hero who is at full health. I think we decline to attack. I don't exactly know what they're doing or what their plan is, but I'm pretty sure we would lose that battle, actually. I hate to do that. I hate to give up an ambush. But that's alright. We just sit inside of our spooky tree and we wait for our spooky Bull King. Alright, the good news is we can absolutely retake Storag Core this turn, and that'll give Morgar some bestial rage. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Let's just go get this. Let's let them know that they're not allowed to have this. Obviously, decisive victory. They just set up here, so of course, raise and advance, and loot and raise, not really worth anything. Do I want to just raise up my herdstone? Probably not. I probably want to do it further south. For the moment, let's just take loot and raise. We really need the bestial fury. We got ourselves a Helm of Many Eyes. Okay, +5 melee attack, +7 armor for all allies that are near Morgar is pretty cool. Get ourselves some XP, some basic combat. Okay, Taurox's attacks have been imbued with poison, which seems fine, I guess. Usually he's going to deal with the people he's engaged with by murdering them to death with axes. So I'm not necessarily thinking that that's a huge benefit. Let's learn that big spell, that big debuff spell. Let's grab you. What do we want from you? So he's going to have the same blue line stuff, I imagine, as Morgr did, or as Taurox does. Yeah, basically. Do we want to work on red line with him, or do we want to maybe try to craft Morgr into a more lord killing character? Like we could make him just a focused combat character. What does his upgraded line do here? So whenever his leadership's above 50%, he gets some move bonus and stuff. Very small combat bonuses. So it looks like he wants to be working with Centaurs and like the mutant type units. Ooh. Herald of Corruption seems like a pretty good skill. So maybe that's what we do. Maybe we start upgrading his red line for those units. Because like a problem that we are always going to have when fighting elves is just that our stuff is way worse than their stuff. So maybe we pass all of the Centaurs over and just make this the Centaur army. And eventually we get the mutant stuff too. I don't hate that. Speed, charge bonus, and weapon strength. Yeah. All right, the two armies sadly cannot quite make contact this turn. But we will next turn. And Ogre is going to attempt a murder. Yeah, all right, coin flip. You can do it. Come on. We believe in you. He's just the worst. Okay. I think we may have to turn him into a combat unit because it seems to be that he is completely incapable of map actions even with all of his upgrades. He might just join up in Morgr's army and fight as a combat unit. So I'm thinking, you know where I would really like to herdstone? Right here. Because that'll get, or maybe even Hag Hall. Hag Hall would be a really cool place to do it. So that'll get all of this stuff. It's every region that is adjacent, right? Yeah. All right. I think that's kind of the long-term plan. Let's do one more turn here because I do want to transfer control of the Centaurs and stuff. We'll redesign Taurox's army a little bit to be more heavy infantry focused. We got to actually get that Minotaur building so that we can... And then we have to increase our unit cap for Minotaurs before we can actually start hiring any, I think. And we do have the dread to do so. Are we answering the call? No, I think we actually... Well... I said I think we care about our horde growth right now, but the next upgrades are really expensive. We probably can't afford them in favor terms. Alright, so you go meet up with you. Let's say... So I definitely want to just pass over all of the Centaur units, right? And I guess just give me back garbage, which I will probably fire. Transferring too many units will do penalties. So, what does receiving horde mean in this situation where I'm swapping units? Are they both receiving hordes? Well, whatever. I'm going to do it. Okay. So it's not a big deal. So what do we have in the recruitment pool that is valuable to us? Nothing really. Yeah, so let us push south. We must... I don't know exactly where the heralds went. Are they at war with the Dark Elves? They are not, remarkably. So the game is suggesting we go to Venomglade and herdstone there. Even though it's saying it will grant zero devastation, which is not very exciting. I think I want to push a little bit further south before we do it. We'll come back for the Dark Elves later. Wow, that is very poor movement. I want to make sure that the two armies are staying together here. Wait, why do you have no movement available? So sometimes when you transfer units between two armies, you can end up here. If I put you into looting mode, you gain some movement. You can end up curtailing the movement of an army because obviously the movement of an army is limited by the unit in that army that has the least movement. But in this case, we were exchanging stuff that between two armies that had not yet moved for the turn, so there shouldn't have been any problem. Okay, there it is. The heralds are no longer safe from the Dark Elves. Now we do need the witchwood to burn. This is one of our endgame objectives. So do we just I think we just go for that right now. That is both our short-term and long-term objective. Let's clear out the Heralds of Ariel and then we'll start worrying about these guys. The lair of a Jabberslythe, a mutated and horrendous abomination, has been found, with the creature still within. We could harness this beast to bolster the herd, or leave it to its abominable rest. So I don't think we want to take a bestial rage penalty right now. And we're not doing a lot of recruiting in the next 4 turns anyway. Oh, also, yeah, winter. Damn it. It does seem like the moon never gives us the option of doing the things that I want. This right now is when I would want the movement speed bonus. So of course we do not have access to that. I guess I'll take the bestial rage just to keep us level as we approach. All right, what about Taurox? How far can Taurox make it? I want to make sure the two armies are staying together, and more than that, I would really like it if I could keep one of them sort of stealthed. The best case scenario is an enemy army that is relatively strong sees one of my two armies and approaches, and then ends up in a 40 versus 20 battle that they didn't realize they were going to have problems with. Because I would love to crush an actual enemy army. So there's the witchwood. We can probably do a quick move to it. Well, maybe. I don't know if we're going to be able to beast path from here to here. It's quite a distance. But we can sweep around. We're probably going to end up having to fight this group of high elves, but that was always true. But yeah, I think the witchwood right here is our goal. The Heralds of Ariel took something from us, and so we are going to return the favor. So that's going to be it for us for today, and thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, these slights will be avenged. And also, just murder for the sake of murder, because we do love doing that. And we'll see you then.